might delegate it. Yeah, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we can pass that. I got the ones better than what Pete Benapel would have given me. He would have worked from the bottom of the list up. Yeah. Worst available. Oh, look. Even he was doing that. He's like, hey, I've been hearing good things about, yeah.
It is 3 o'clock. We'll start this meeting. We've got a quorum. Roll call, please.
So I'll go ahead and just do roll call with the members present in the room. City ex-official member John Lawless,
Present.
tribe member Vernon Vera, Secretary Baldo Rodriguez, and President Pro Tem Raymond Beltran.
That's Vice President.
Oh,
No problem. Present. Okay, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, this is the time for oral communication. This is the opportunity to address the Porterville Area Development Authority on any scheduled matter. Unless additional time is authorized, all commentary shall be limited to 3 minutes per individual and no more than 15 minutes total. Is there anybody? Nope, nobody in the audience. Anybody online?
near you.
Okay, we'll go on to scheduled matters. Matter number 1, the approval of draft minutes of June 16, 2023. This is for the consideration to approve those draft minutes. If you guys want to review those and get a motion.
So move to approve draft minutes of June 16, 2023.
Okay, we have a motion by Vera, seconded by Mr. Rodriguez. We'll call for oral vote. Ayes? Aye. Any noes? And any abstentions? So pass 3-0. All right, on to item number 2. This is for the city reimbursement of eligible expenses and construction update of the tertiary treatment water facility, collection system, and recycle water infrastructure project. Want to continue to read the rest?
Okay, certainly can introduce it, Your Honor. So before the board this afternoon is a request for disbursement of $1,986,202.87. That's comprised of a June billing for construction of $167,745.72, as well as delineated design and construction management costs of $1,906,202.87. Again, combined disbursement would be $1,986,202.87.
All right, is there any discussion on this matter?
Oh, did I apologize. So I wrote it down. So I think it's a reference to the design and construction management, which is 1,818,457.15. Is that what, I made it 1,000,009.
Okay, okay, I got it.
Okay. I wrote down the total.
Is there anyone want to make a motion or more discussion
I
on
make a
that?
motion that we approve. Second.
So we have a motion and a second, and we'll call for a vote. Ayes? Any noes? And abstentions? 0. So pass 3-0. Thank you. And so then on to item number 3. City reimbursement of eligible expensive and construction update of the storm drain recharge retention basin project. That's a mouthful.
Thank you, Your Honor. We, before the board this afternoon is consider approval of disbursement of $1,962,284.18 from the city to Tule River Tribe. That disbursement is based upon a $1,671,239.18 construction costs from June of 23, as well as a design and construction management costs of $291,045. Again, total disbursement would be $1,962,284.18.
I make a motion to approve.
All right, already motioned by Mr. Rodriguez, and a second by Mr. Vera, and then we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say no. And then any abstentions? That'll pass 3-0 again. All right, gentlemen. And we'll go on to item number 4, scheduled matters, local road improvement coordination.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. There's, I guess, more just an informational report on progress, and I'll let staff speak to specific timelines or schedules as currently exist. Peters Engineering continues to do design on the primary roundabout, which is at West and Scranton, which I believe is at greater than 90% planned, and I'll let Javier kind of speak to that here in a moment. And then through recent conversations and the MOU process for other road improvements in this area, as previously reported to the board, Congressman Valadeo supported what's called community project funding for this, $3.5 million, which did go through the Transportation Committee with approval, and so was anticipated to be adopted in the next year's budget of $3.5 million of federal funds towards this project. In addition to that, TCAG has programmed $2 million of CMAQ funding, congestion mitigation air quality funding. And we're currently in close to completing the CEQA and NEPA review of this project in its totality. And this is, again, 2 roundabouts and the connecting road in between, and the Westwood realignment to West Street. And so, as I started, and I guess at that point, I can let Javier kind of speak to current design.
Right, so we've provided Peters Engineering the first round of comments, so they're working on those and finalizing the plans, including the traffic staging plans for the construction. There's talks of them extending the work to the next roundabout and then the link between them to prepare for the airport runway realignment. So that's all work in progress.
It's a $12 million project in totality.
No, that's the
Yeah, we moved.
Just to provide an update on the tertiary plant, progress is coming along. The membrane vendor is on site. We've been running potable water through the calibration membrane through this last week. The efforts will probably lead into next week, where we start running sample runs of secondary effluent through there and testing water quality. We have identified some punch list items in that process for some corrections. However, the overall site is, from a construction standpoint, looks pretty well complete. It's just the startup phases now. The facility has been fenced in, asphalted. Most of the permanent structures are all there. Some of the punch list items are labeling and that sort of thing. Moving into the upcoming weeks, we'll be commissioning the vertical turbine pumps, the hydronomic tank, looking to finalize the startup processes, and then trying to focus attention to equipping a retrofit to the sports complex, identifying the signage and markings of the use of recycled water, and working to schedule the cutover for the system to start to serve the park for its irrigation use. Some things that still have to take place is working through the permitting process of Department of Drinking Water, Recycled Water Division. That's in review now. We expect to have comments back from them in about a week or so. After those comments are received, we'll be finalizing our wastewater discharge permit through the Regional Water Quality Control Board, and then doing the cross-connection tests in parallel to those efforts, confirming that potable water is protected on site of the irrigation, and the separation is maintained between the irrigation and the potable water system. We had a site visit today with the construction team, city staff, and a cross-connection control contractor to come out, survey the site, put together a plan. We're working through finalizing that and identifying any corrective actions that need to occur prior to the switchover. It's fully anticipated that the commissioning and the permitting will lag behind the plant's ability to serve. So we intend on cutting over the plant, operating it on potable water for a period of time, making sure that there's no deficiencies or issues with serving both facilities, the casino and the sports complex, before secondary influent is introduced into the system. Of course, that is after all the state permits are finalized, and then introducing that water and performing a second cross-connection control test, just providing all the necessary reassurances of a safe operation.
Ultimately, when this is all permitted out, what is the quantity, what's the volume and what's the capacity of the plant?
So the plant currently is a 0.308 MGD, so 308,000 gallons a day production. The facility is equipped with a 1 million gallon storage reservoir. We'll see how that works out. I mean, it's quite a bit of water. The hopes is that this is just step one in the city's sustainability process, and
We're already in environmental review and master plan inclusion of converting the city's overall wastewater distribution system to a full tertiary application. So the initial impacts, it was calculated to serve both facilities with the quantities of water needed to serve. And I think we'll work within that. It has the ability also to substitute potable water into the system should we have deficiencies in operating and demand is high. But leading up to the completed project, we'll be also providing substitute tertiary water at some point in time from the city's overall wastewater treatment plant to that facility, as well as those uses become identified and prioritized to serve other needs within the area and throughout the city. That's how we kind of foresee it being distributed.
One more question. I'm going through it in my mind how it's going to work. I have no doubt that during the summer months and during the high irrigation use, that's not going to be a problem. The plant's going to work beautiful. What happens during the off-season when you're not irrigating?
So we've kind of evaluated that. The hopes is that we'll continue to irrigate the grass and the irrigation year-round, providing opportunities for fertilizer and seeding, and that's activities that we've not been able to do because of drought impacts. So, I mean, that is a portion of activity that will be available to us. And then the other side of that is if we are creating more supply than what we can use, the opportunity would be to move that over to the reclamation area as a result of having excess water supply. That is a challenge of having constant flow. You have to find a place for it. So we'll be evaluating that, and it may be during the winter months that production is tailored back and the plant doesn't operate at its peak capacity. So that's really some use and some evaluation that will occur as we move into this process.
There would be no problem if we had wet winters and you really can't be applying this water during those November, December, January, whatever those months. There would be absolutely no problem bypassing the plant and just taking it out to what you're doing now.
Correct. Other than the fact that we really don't want to do that because, you're incurring a cost on chemicals and you're basically spending money to treat water that, right. So you will probably throttle the plant back, if you will, for lack of a better term, and just kind of run it at its medium operation instead of, running it at peak performance continuously. And that may be a good thing. If you're running this thing throttled out at a full 300,000 gallons a day and you're using every drop, it will probably be a good opportunity to be able to throttle back, do those maintenance opportunities through the winter months when the demand isn't so high, and we'll work through that. Yeah, absolutely.
How are you, Mr. Villa? Any questions?
No further questions.
Yeah, very thorough explanations. Thank you. And on to item number 5, the Tule River Tribe Active Transportation Plan Update.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Just kind of a status update. As previously reported, I believe we reported this. If not, the CTC approved the grant project back in June, and so it is a formalized project. Four Creeks is currently tasked with the design and environmental for that. City staff will be overseeing, in collaboration with TCAG, as it continues to proceed through design and through its environmental, targeting funding, I believe, in a couple of years. Had an opportunity to meet with the California Secretary of Transportation last week. Secretary, I'm going to say his name, Omashakin, fairly recently appointed from Tennessee. Had been one of the equivalent of Caltrans, essentially, in Tennessee prior to being appointed in California. Very impressed with this project. Was very surprised to see this kind of project happening to the benefit of the Tule River Tribe in a regional collaboration between the city, TCAG, and the director of Caltrans was there as well and spoke very favorably of it. It's very unique in our state that a project of this magnitude. And so it would not surprise me if in the next visit to Tulare County, he comes up there. We had pictures of the pedestrian bridge swinging bridge that had been destroyed in the last flooding event and described the project and was very intrigued by it. So when he comes back to this area, which anticipates maybe in 3 or 4 months, that he may visit to see the area. So very impressed. So, but again, current status of it is just Four Creeks doing design and environmental, which both NEPA and CEQA has to be done here because it's on federal lands. And Fish and Wildlife will be a significant time investment, given that this would be 2 crossings over the Tule River.
All right, thank you. All right, that's for the scheduled matters. On to other matters. You gentlemen have any other questions or comments? No? All right, gentlemen, well, thank you for your time. We'll adjourn this meeting. It's 3:20.
Wow,
All right.
efficient.